This is Justin AMZN on Wednesday, May 2nd, 2018. Take a look at the move after hours yesterday and pre-market today, coming right back down into our 1578 price. And so, this being a little bit of a short-term retest, double bottom here, breakout, retest here. Looks like we're actually coming back down to retest this line and see if we'll hold that, if we'll hold some of these levels here of this resistance that turned into new support here, right around 1575, 1576. So could be a key area. You can also be looking at the 1575 calls and puts, depending on what the move is going to do. It's Wednesday, so only a couple days left of premium to be sucked out of it. It just stays in this area, but it could go directionally off of this area. It could break through this, retest into it, and then sell off, or could stay above it and rally up. This is really nice, sort of an S curve here that we had this this rally yesterday coming out of this consolidation. So to see it come back down, even to come back into 1575, 1570, even the low 1570s, retest this whole area and then rally from there would still be great. It would be a really nice S curve. So let's get into the day and see what happens. First candle opens up and sells off, comes right down through this level, comes back up to it. This could really be a retest to it. And then a little more selling. So right now we're already into the low 1570s that I was just talking about. And from there, get a very nice large buying candle. So it really did actually come right down 1575 area there. You could have been, anybody here was selling, tried to sell and got stopped out. Now they're going to be switched and they're going to be buying at this level that they're trying to sell, and it held. So where I have my cursor here, this range, some of these candles up in here the last couple of days, that's now acting as a support. So it doesn't look like it's holding our 1578 price that well, but there's some other levels in here similar to a couple weeks back when we had that consolidation and just went sideways and it didn't sell off. It just kind of meandered around. There was somewhat of a lack of day trades, some sizable ones, like we usually see these 10x ones and stuff on these videos that we just weren't seeing. So it feels a little bit like that after a big gap up, for earnings and some selling off and some. Yesterday got a little bit of a bullish move, and today seeing this pull back, maybe it's going to chop around some more, and there's some more just pausing to happen and some building up of pressure. But you're definitely seeing a bounce here today, rallying way up here into some of the pre-market levels pretty quickly too. And so this is right on the same area we got into yesterday, and that's where we sold off from the day. So it's not a surprise that some folks actually rode this up from this move up to here and are going to be looking to just take some profits. And so you get some upper wicks in here. So far you're still not getting back up above all of the post-market or pre-market, and so to do that you'd really have to get into the mid 1590s to get way up here, and it could do that. But it seems like there's some stronger resistance coming in, especially with the wicks here. So I'm not gung-ho being bullish quite yet. And so here's a little bit of a sell back down. These were making higher lows and higher highs. This is the first candle to actually make a lower high, lower low on the 5 minute, which is okay. It could come right back down to 1578 and hold that. And the next couple of candles here, it looks like it pulled back, bought up, somewhat of a really large double top forming if this is a resistance. Throw in another upper wick. This is a bullish engulfing candle on that bearish candle. And so, just kind of chopping a little higher. It's not selling back down. It's just kind of grinding higher. Similar to how we saw some of this happen where we had, this move up, kind of a little bit of a pullback, move back up. In this case, we took out the high in the day here, and we didn't do that yesterday. And so that could be playing out a little bit differently. But yesterday we did actually get a little bit above the pre-market, and today we have not. So that's still, a little cautiously bullish in that case, just compared to yesterday. So you got another small candle here, similar to like this one here, or maybe this one here from yesterday, and then a bearish candle coming in after it. So it starts to look more like this pair. This one was actually bearish engulfing. This one is not quite engulfing. Didn't get a high enough. But this definitely looks like an evening star reversal here. And you could get in bearish below that low with a stop up above the high. And that'd be just a 1-to-1 down to this level. But definitely doable. So it triggered into that move. It retests and comes down almost all the way down into it. So, you're up probably about an R. When you're down here, maybe you lost a little bit. Maybe you're back to just about half an R up on the position. And okay, now you hit your 1R. If you took some profit or you got out, that's a nice little move. Even star reversal, turns into somewhat of a multi-top here. Or if we're looking at 1 minute, it's probably more of a head and shoulders, or maybe a 2 minute to see that. So coming down in here, get a little bit of a buying candle. Be better if that was bullish, better if it was higher volume and bullish. But we got a little bit of squeeze forming. And so it could totally reverse right here. Could totally do that. If it holds, like it did yesterday, this level into the close. We already pushed through that level. So, it'd be aggressive to have a stop here when you have, the low of the day down here. But this is an aggressive place that you could be buying. So with a move above, or at least wait to this bearish candle getting above that. So maybe you've got 1583, 1582 by 1576, something like that. So maybe $7 risk there, going bullish. And oops. So the next candle is slightly engulfing. But right on the same level, so just some chop, 15 minutes, and okay, there you go. It's starting to bounce. This looks great. We're ready to get in bullish above this, and a stop right here below. Great place for it to bounce. It paused right there. Get a little bit of bearish momentum, and the squeeze is fired bearish, but we're looking to go bullish. And so, okay, it didn't get a close above this price. Maybe you got in because it got up there, looked strong, as it was forming, and then it just came back. So you might be in. That's okay if you are, if that's in your rules to get in on that. And it actually just comes back down, comes right into this area. If you're in up here, you're almost at your full R loss right here. There's not much you can do except, cinch up your stop right below this candle, this indecision candle. Inside candle, this could really break either direction right here. We want it to go bullish if we're in up here, or just to get back up to break even, get out. But if it takes out this low and just moves bearish, it should be coming down to the low of the day, 1572, 1573, somewhere in here. And, possibly another retest of, these levels. Sorry. And that's what we do. We actually break down, come down a little bit further, actually put in a new low on the day. And people who are shorting down here, this was too late to short. This was the place for some indecision to just get in on that move. If you're still in from back here, maybe you locked in a little bit to gain, moved your stop from, let's see, where's the stop, up here or here, down to here. And now down here, the low of the day, hopefully you took some more profit. That would have been probably a 2-to-1 risk, reward to risk. So hopefully you got out down there at the low of the day. And, it puts in a little bit of a pause here, some flagging, and it's starting to break down a little bit more bearish. And then it just sort of double bottoms instead. So we'll see if this can rally back up into 1578, or if it does actually roll over. It'd be great for it to roll over and take out these buyers down here. But you do have some of the people who may have changed direction based on what was going on yesterday, the day before. So we're at a low of the day. It's not the time to go short. You're a little bit above it. You could come back down to that or push on through. But we just want to be trailing a stop. So if your stop was up here, definitely move it down to here, maybe above this larger bearish candle or right at our line, if you've locked in some profit. If you haven't locked in a gain, so you don't lose on the position, then just get out down here. There's some indecision down here, something that's looking a little more bullish. It just makes sense to get out down here. You're losing that bearish momentum also. So now this, if you're still in, trail your stop up to here at this level, because this is a good reversal candle if it continues down. And now you just have some consolidation coming in here that you want it to continue bearish. But if it doesn't, you got your stop in a good spot. So you probably just got stopped out here. This turns into somewhat of a multi-bottom or some sideways consolidation, a triangle pattern. Now you're starting to break up. into the 1578. That'd be the next target. Gets into that, and then it looks like it's going to roll over again. Or this could be the retest of that indecision there. So if that's a retest, you can get in. Let's see, where would you get in here? Probably get in above the bearish candle with a stop right underneath that same candle. So you're still not triggered in. Okay, maybe you're triggered in here. You're definitely going to take a slight little bit. Maybe you're doing this option or with shares, but you got a slight little gain right here. Lock it in, and then the next pivot here, and then the next pivot back up to the high day. And so it just starts to chop a little bit higher, comes into this level, and just sells back down. So this has just been so indecisive today. A couple big moves. The only places really to get in was breaking that smaller candle for good risk to reward, and then maybe buying off that candle. If you got in on the move higher or on these. But this was barely maybe a 1-to-1 or something coming up here. Got a little bit more of the day left, so we'll just move a little bit. Okay, so this looks like it's rolling over. This consolidation pattern continues lower. Now we're starting to contend with the pre-market or with the morning low of the day, and see if that area will hold. So this is looking like it's putting in a new base with some lower highs on the day, and it starts to rally from there, which is phenomenal. So all these people, waiting for this to break bearish, goes bearish, and then it just rallies hard out of that, and actually comes right up, takes out that pivot. So this is another breakout bullish. So just like we had our lower highs forming a flat bottom triangle here, and that broke up. So now we got some lower highs with the flat bottom breaking up. It just worked out similar, and rallied up, came right back down. That's what yesterday did not do. Came right back down to this breakout level, and we're still not done the day. It actually chopped around some more right in here. And hopefully you took some of the gains up here, and you didn't just hold through this chop, because you probably would have trailed your stop up to here, maybe locking in on, well, probably not locking in anything, probably just making sure you lose a little bit less. If it made up to here, you took some profits, that's great, but it came right back down, took out that low, probably stopped some people out, and then it's back up here again. It's like, okay, now it's getting close to the end of the day. We got an hour left. And what are we going to do? Yeah, we take that out, make a new low in the day. It's like, just, again, indecisive. So it looked like it was rallying hard like it was doing yesterday. And then that just faltered and didn't work out. So actually ended up with some more lows here. You could have gotten embarrassed on some of this, but, again, it's taken out a previous 5-minute pivot. So, it's looking a little bit stronger. But zoom back out and look at the daily, really range bound on this, really close to, these wicks up here, didn't really get going anywhere. Made a new high from yesterday, higher high and a higher low, but it's really, the body is just an inside candle from the previous day. And so it's great having some consolidation. If this continues for a couple more days, Thursday, Friday, it'd be nice if it had a little bit more of a directional move Friday for options expiration. But there's no guarantee that'll happen after this sell-off, after this gap. It really just needs to rest some more. Let the exponentials catch up. Looking at smaller time frames to see what you can do. But if we take a look back at this, so just the day here. So yeah, so aftermarket, we just kind of chopped around. Didn't have much move. So we'll look at that tomorrow, see what ends up happening. Sorry, let me zoom in on this. So you would have had no to buy down here to get this piece. You would have had to know to short up here to take this and take that all the way down. So if you bought a put, and rode this move, maybe you're trying to buy some calls down here at the low, and it rallied up, and then you got out at that resistance, and then did it again here, rallied up, and I'm not sure where you would have been reversing your position here. There wasn't so much decisiveness. You have an evening star reversal here that breaks down, retests. But we've got our line right here, at this level. So it's hard to go directional when you're directionally bearish, when you're still holding that support. Here you broke it, you were tested to it. Maybe you got in bearish here, going lower, retest here. Maybe you got in here for that candle with a stop here, and that would have been a nice couple hour gain. So we'll look at a couple of time frames. Had somebody gotten in on this candle bearish at 920, and maybe this candle bearish at 110, or no, not that one, this one. bearish at 110 with a stop up here. Not 110, sorry. Now that's 125. So we go look at some puts. Here's the 1575 put. We said 920, so you're buying around in here. So our high on that is 850. Let's say you get in at 850 and your stop is maybe 750. That could work. And then that rallied up for a few R. Then it came back down to a really similar price. And this candle at 110, then rallied, and then the 125. So this would have been up here. It would have been buying at like 10, maybe 1050, probably like 1050. And where's your stop? 950. Maybe that would have worked. I mean, that would have been. Looks like you would have still been in, and then that rallied into the close on the puts. So that could have been a nice move if you're watching for some of these reversal patterns. For the calls, you would have been buying down at this level from previous days. I mean, if we look at the lows from the last day, you would have been buying above the previous lows intraday, but buying on kind of this gap on the option down in here. And your risk would have been much wider. So it would have been hard to trade that. Would have been a nice gain, but I mean, you're not just going to buy blindly there without a stop at a decent location. And that's more than an R, more than $100 R can handle to do that. Now, when it gets a little tighter here, we did take out this low, but maybe you're trying to buy through here, took it for an R or something, or did it here, took it for 2 or 3 R or something like that into this, got out the pivot. That was this move, so coming down in here looking like it's bearish, but maybe if it holds this low, then you're buying at this level looking for it to rally, because it already proved that to you today at a couple locations better than it did the previous day. So that would have been a rally up here pretty quickly. Would have been something to get out of the pivot, and you would have again had to have that planned to take this trade from here up to here. So it's possible, but you really got to be a student of the chart to be able to find that. So come back here in the daily. We're holding this level, the triangle, the retest here yesterday, which was phenomenal. We really want to see if this consolidation here breaks bullish and continues higher to make new highs, or if this breaks bearish and retraces down to this level here, or we still have your 100 simple down in this level, probably around, actually I think it was a little lower, maybe around 14, low 1400s right now, somewhere in here I believe. So we'll have to get that back in the chart to see what's going on there. So we'll be back tomorrow with another review. Just taking a little step out, it looks like we got relative highs from the last couple days, in pre-markets, post-markets, stuff like that, and some relative lows through here. And this is what I'm talking about. This looks similar to some of this back here where you had this just sideways move for a number of days. I think that ended up being like 7 or 8 days, something like that. So we're, if you count this portion, probably not, 1, 2, 3 days into this, it could continue sideways for a little while longer and then do some sort of rally up like this and then a pullback into this level or retesting the previous highs or this high, something like that, and then continue higher. But we'll have to see what happens one day at a time. This is Justin AMZN. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.